Hi everybody, this is Julissa. Thank you so much everybody for coming back to my channel. Thank you to everybody who's listening in the podcast right now. It is Sunday, July 14, 2024. I wanted to come back here and do another follow-up video regarding the identity of the shooter who attempted the assassination of former President Trump. And as we all know, that happened yesterday, Saturday, July 13. It happened in Pennsylvania while Donald Trump was in a campaign rally over there. And as we know, there's a lot of, as it being a breaking news story and just recently happening, all the information are now coming out. So let me just briefly tell you exactly the information that we have now. So the gunman who fired shots at former President Donald Trump in an assassination attempt at a campaign rally in Butler, Pennsylvania, Saturday night has been identified by the FBI as 20-year-old Thomas Matthew Crooks. He was killed by the Secret Service sniper, okay? One audience member at the rally, in Pennsylvania firefighter Corey Compertor was killed in the shooting, and two other men are in critical condition right now. So this is everybody who was affected by this assassination attempt on former President Donald Trump. So they were saying Pennsylvania former firefighter Corey Comperton and two other men whose identity has not been released yet. They're currently in the hospital right now in critical condition. So keep all of them in your prayers. Also, I know some people don't even think about this, but a 20-year-old kid, 20 years old is very young to me. 20-year-old man recently graduating. I think he graduated last year from high school. And it's like, wow, that's what's going in these people's mind. So it tells you, like, you immediately think about who is his family, what do they do, like how was he raised, what do they do for a living, for him to even go forward with a plan like this. So keep the family of the 20-year-old Thomas Matthew Crooks, that's his name. He's the gunman who tried to kill President Donald Trump yesterday. And he was killed by the Secret Service once they found him on top of that roof with the rifle in his hand. So keep his family also in your prayers, guys. I'm sure everything that's happening to them is just, I don't know if it's a shock. That's why I'm like, I need to know, like, who was his family, who is his family, because you found one thing about, like, your family knows who you are. Like, if you have, because what goes in your mind the minute you start talking, like, it reveals what you're thinking about, right? And a lot of the times, people, if you still live with your family, you communicate with them, so they know, and they know your behavior, they know how you operate. So I wonder if the family saw any type of signs that this young man will ever carry out something like this, or any, like will this does he normally gets mad when Donald Trump comes on television? What is he saying? Those people that are so passionate, and they see somebody on TV and they go crazy and they start going, like, it could be the quietest moment, and then somebody comes on TV and they're like, I hate this guy or something. So I wonder if the family is gonna speak about everything that happening. Do they know, like, were there any signs? Was he like, I mean, Donald Trump was president for 4 years. So was this kid, like, when did the hate began, like things like that I wish, I know it's too soon, but I wish at some point we can hear from the family and see what went through this young man's life that led him to this. So it says here the FBI has identified Thomas Matthew Crooks, that's his name, like I said, 20 years old, of Bethel Park, Pennsylvania, as the subject involved in the assassination attempt of former President Donald Trump on July 13 in Butler, Pennsylvania. This remains an active and ongoing investigation, and anyone with information that may assist with the investigation is encouraged to submit photos or video, and they can go on fbi.gov, right? Or call the phone number. Federal investigators said the gunman was not carrying an identification, so they analyzed his DNA to provide a biometric confirmation of his identity. That's so strange to me. Just even reading it right now, the first time I just learned this, I just read this because, guys, I feel like they did identify this guy very quickly. Because normally when something like this happen, um, hmm, when something like this happens, usually they contact the family first before they release any names. And last night I came here and told you guys his name because he was already released by the FBI. I think around 11:30 or midnight, the FBI did a press conference about the identity of the shooter. And I was like, that is so fast. That is so fast that happened. And they just said he wasn't carrying any ID. The identification of the suspect, was done by using DNA. Crooks was from Bethel Park, Pennsylvania, Pittsburgh suburb, about an hour south of Butler. The town in Allegheny County is home to about 30,000 people and has one high school with about 1,300 students. Okay, Bethel Park School District confirmed that Crooks was a 2022 graduate of Bethel Park High School, and officials pledged to work with law enforcement investigating the shooting and offer condolences to those affected by the attack. Former classmate, okay, so now they're already speaking with some of his classmates. Former classmate of Thomas Crooks said that he tried out for the team freshman year for the school varsity team freshman year, but did not make the junior year varsity roster and did not return to try out for the team in subsequent years. He called Crooks a nice kid who never talked poorly of anyone. And he said, I never had thought him capable of anything I seen him do in the last few days. That's also interesting. Because his classmates said, I would never think this guy will do something like this. But he didn't just say, I never thought of him doing something like this. He said, I never thought of him being capable of anything I seen him do in the last few days. So did something else happen prior to this shooting attempt or assassination attempt on Donald Trump by this kid, Thomas Crooks? Fellow classmates said Crooks wasn't popular. He still had a group of friends and was a good student and beloved by teachers. She said she didn't see any red flags that would lead her to believe that he will do anything like this. Well, I mean, he graduated in 2022, right? Leaving high school and entering basically to being like kind of like, now you're gonna get a job and or you can start college, right? You begin to kind of like start life kind of like on your own, or making enough money to support yourself, even if you go away for college or like to buy your school supplies and things like that. It's strange to me that they're reaching out to his classmates like he just graduated last month. You know what I mean? It's so weird because it's 2024 now. This kid graduated in 2022. In 2 years, or a year and a half, people change a lot, right? Especially at that age, they're going through transition. So it's very strange how all these classmates are already like giving statements and saying this and never thought of this or the other. Like, At least, I mean, if they would have said, I saw him at graduation, I haven't seen him since, or he never, I don't know if he went to college or whatever. He graduated in 2022. So, I don't know. That's a little strange to me. Um, it says here actually, Crooks has graduated from the Community College of Allegheny. I might be mispronouncing that, in May of 2024. So he graduated just in May of this year from college with an associate degree in science and in science engineering. Said, and he also worked at Beto Park Skilled Nursing and Rehabilitation Center as a dietary aide, according to the facility administrator. Oh my goodness. I don't know if you guys had listened to my previous recording regarding about, nursing homes, and if you have a parent or a loved one in a nursing home, to check on them and things like that. Um, it's so strange that just this guy worked at a nursing home as a dietary aide. Like, I don't know, man. Like, you really have to be like. And the reason that I say this, guys, is because um there are people who are dealing with a lot of stuff mentally, and I think his job should like see if he was like getting in trouble at his job or something. And the reason that I say this, because this guy just tried to kill the a former president, and this guy was working with vulnerable people at a nursing home. Okay, so obviously he wasn't fit. Mentally he wasn't right. So I wonder if there was some type of behavior change. Maybe if they speak with his like co-workers, maybe perhaps they can say something. Or, oh yeah, that's the guy who hated him, who hated Trump, and he always talked badly about Trump. Maybe hearing from his former co-workers would be ideally probably the best thing to kind of know where his mind was at. But like, this is why you have to, like, if you have a parent in the nursing home, check on them, because like a lot of people are dealing with a lot mentally, and they might not look it, but you have to you have to communicate with them and see what they're all about, what they're thinking about, because a lot of the times when people speak to you, they kind of reveal themselves to you. The reason this is shocking to me to see that he worked at a nursing home is because, once again, you're working around people who are vulnerable, who they cannot speak for themselves, and here you are, letting this guy in around vulnerable people, and this guy has a mentality like he did, to go out and plan this attack and assassination on former President Trump. That's crazy. So that's where he worked at. So in May 2024, so this past May, he graduated with an associate in science degree in engineering, and he worked at Beto Park Skilled Nursing and Rehabilitation Center as a dietary aide. Okay. Crooks has also had a membership at a nearby gun club for at least a year. So they already spoke with that guy. So now they're trying to figure out what is the motive, right? I think the President Biden spoke about 2 hours ago, and he said, he's giving the condolences to the people who got killed and the people who are still in the hospital. And he said he spoke with Donald Trump, and he also said they're trying to figure out what was the motive. That's what I'm saying. Like, I think they need to investigate how he was at work, and at home too, right? So it says here, there was also no indication that Crooks ever had a connection to any military branch. Um, so let me see any other information. Law enforcement officials said early Sunday that the Secret Service and the FBI are investigating the suspect background and speaking with his family, so that's good. So they're speaking with his family. The FBI has secured his home, and federal law enforcement is searching his family residence in suburban Pittsburgh, the law enforcement said. Crooks ID'd had a social media presence. Agents are combing through his posts and emails but have found nothing so far that reveals a motive or anything threatening. The investigation so far has indicated that Crooks acted alone and that there is no continued threat, okay? The agency also has Crooks' cell phone and is working to gain access to his contents. Meanwhile, the public has submitted over 2,000 tips to the FBI for examination. Wow. So they're getting a lot of tips. It says here the gunman was armed with a semi-automatic AR-style rifle. Multiple law enforcement sources said ATF is tracing the weapon. Okay, two law enforcement sources said the gun was legally purchased and by and registered to the shooter's father, Matthew Crooks. So now his father, like the gun belonged to his father. So now his dad is gonna be basically wrapped up in this whole thing. The gunman opened fire from the roof of a shed outside the cordon of rally area, but about 400 feet from the stage, multiple sources said. So wow. Okay, so wow, that's just I mean, like I'm just thinking about the dad now that he's gonna be so involved in this because the gun belonged to him, to his dad. And it's not like he's like a 14-year-old kid who knows what their gun is. He's a 20-year-old man, right? He's young, but he's 20 and had a job and everything. So now I'm sure they're gonna, interview they already say they're talking with the family, but now specifically the dad, because the dad that was his gun. That was his gun basically. So it's a lot of all this information coming out about him now and about his family. So let me know, guys, what you think about all of this. And if you have any new information that just came out, please leave a comment. Once again, thank you so much, everybody, for coming back to my channel. Thank you to everybody who's listening in the podcast. Have a good day. God bless.